Okay.
A very warm good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are, Toastmasters at Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers. It's a fine Monday evening here in India where I am, and I'm really glad to be starting off our meeting today as the Sergeant at Arms. So for this club, what I'd like all of you to do is to keep in mind that when there's a speaker speaking, please do not speak when there's somebody else speaking. Also, please keep in mind that if you need to move around, do switch off your video so that people don't get distracted. And other than that, one thing that I've learned from meeting here, attending meetings here, and especially from one particular speech that Tiger has given in the past, is that we are here to learn and we're here to have fun. So don't forget to do both. With that, let me hand it over to our presiding officer for today. And I think that is Tiger. Over to you, Tiger.
Thank you, Ravi, and welcome everybody. This is a meeting where the theme is quality over quantity. We have all our roles filled except for our speaker. That's okay. So we will hang in there. Is there anybody that would like to throw in a speech?
Well, if you're seriously asking about a terrible speech, terrible story, then I can do a terrible story.
Right on. Well, okay. We us, we love stories, good, bad, ugly. So okay, we'll throw you in as a speaker. Thank you. Hey, whoa, listen and look at this. John was just keeping us in suspense. So Michelle, if you want to tell a terrible story, we will listen. But we do have our speaker.
Oh no, I would much rather be sitting back and kind of just sitting back.
Okay, well, thank you for volunteering. Welcome, John. All right, let's go ahead and announce our team is going to get this show on the road. Lauren is our counter. Lauren, go ahead and fill us in on what you're going to do today.
Thank you. Today, I am going to note pause fillers, filler words that aren't necessary to concise and meaningful speech, like and, well, but, so, and you know. I'll also listen for filler sounds like or repeating of a certain phrase. And at the end of the meeting, I'll report the number of times that each of these words or sounds were used. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your report. Our grammarian, Jerry, you want to fill us in and go ahead and read your word of the day.
Thank you, Tiger. Dear Toastmasters and guests, as a grammarian, my responsibility is to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take notes of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And I also would like to introduce today's word, gumption. It has two meanings. One is the first one means enterprise, initiative. For example, like the gumption to try. And the second meaning is common sense, house sense. But this one, I think most will be used in UK. I encourage everyone to try your best to use this word today. I will take a note. Thank you.
Thank you. And it takes gumption to take on a grammarian role, especially in this club. Thank you so much. Our theme of the day is challenge. So we're all going to be challenged today. I think we'll have time for everybody to do a table topic. So we all know that table topics is challenging. And John, we are challenging John. He is going to do his speech today. But before we do that, we need to hear from our timer. Ravi, go ahead and fill us in on your timing prompts.
Thank you, Tiger. Hi, everyone. I'm playing the role of the timer for today. As the timer, I'll be keeping track of our prepared speaker, John. And if I understand right, it's not his icebreaker, so he'll have the same time that a typical speech does, which is 5 to 7 minutes. When John has reached the 5-minute mark, I'll change my background to green, and that'll indicate that he's at the 5-minute mark. When he's completed 6 minutes, I'll switch it to yellow. And when he's at the 7-minute mark, I'll switch it to red. He'll have a 30 seconds grace period in order to finish his speech. After this, when we get to the table topic segment, I'll also be keeping time for each of the table topic speakers. Each speaker gets between 1 to 2 minutes. When the speaker reaches the 1-minute mark, my background will change to green. When the speaker is at the 1.5-minute mark, it's yellow, and at 2 minutes, it will be red with a 30 seconds grace period. And for John's evaluator, which I believe is Stephen, he will have 2 to 3 minutes. So at the 2-minute mark, it will be green. At the 2.5-minute mark, my background will be yellow and red at 3 minutes. Why do we need to keep track of time, you might ask? Well, that's because we only have so much time in a day, and very little of that for us to spend together as Toastmasters in a club meeting. And therefore, it's important that we keep track of time, especially when you've got a speaker like me who always runs out of time. It's good to have someone telling you if you have any time left or not. I'll be back to share my report about the time taken, and I'll also be sharing it in the chat whenever each speaker is done. Back to you, Tiger.
Thank you very much. Another role that takes gumption. If you guys have noticed, anybody has noticed, I haven't taken a timer role for about a year. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. The timer is probably the most unappreciated person in a meeting, and it takes a lot of effort. So Robbie, thanks for stepping up and taking on our timer role. Oh, he forgot to mention that if you go over 30 seconds, he's going to use the hook. He's going to, at the stage, the hook, he's going to hook you and pull you off the stage. Denny, you want to give us a quick rundown on the GE role?
Okay, basically, as the general evaluator, I will be serving the whole meeting from the beginning till the end, and then with all the help from a counter timer and then also grammarian and individual evaluators, I will give the report to you later during the evaluation session. That's all. Back to you, Tiger.
Thank you, Denny. I challenged Denny last week to be our GE, so we greatly appreciate you being here, and we know you're going to do a wonderful job. So let's move on. We got 3 parts to our meeting. We have a speaker, then we have our table topics, and finally the evaluation session, and we are ready to rock and roll. So John is going to do presentation mastery level 3, project 1, which is persuasive speaking. His title is Hope. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. John, the floor is all yours, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yeah, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Okay. Before I start, I'm sorry because it's in Bali is 11:11, so I will make my voice not really out loud because I'm afraid my neighbor will get disturbing. Okay, so I am so exciting. So okay, let's go. Can you raise your hand if you have hope in your life? Okay, cool. Before I share my hope story, let me share my mother's hope. Over 10 years ago, right after I graduated from high school, I asked my mother, Mom, why did you give me name Joe Anderson? As you know, my full name is John Anderson Manurung. John Anderson is my birth name, and Manurung is one of the clans of Batak tribe or family names that have been passed down from generation to generation. Then my mom replied, yeah, why is it? I give you the name because I like the name. It's like an American name. So that you can speak like American. And you can even go to America. My response was, really? Did you know America is so far from here? I like here. And you know, I just want to be a police officer, Mom. Being police officer, that's my dream. In my heart, in my mind was only being policeman. I did physical exercise and mentality almost every day, from running, swimming, push ups, sit up, pull ups, everything I do for sake of strengthening my strong physique. Talking about strengthening my mentality, I don't need to practice. I do mental training with my mom almost every day at home. One morning, I prepared myself for running, and my mother was cooking in the kitchen, was slicing vegetables with a knife. Mom, I go now. Then my mother shouted while pointing at me with her knife. Hey you, sweep the floor before you go. You can imagine how strong my mentality was naturally trained. In the first year of recruitment of police officer, I failed. Okay, no worries. In the second year, I tried again. Failed. Third, fourth, until the fifth year, I also failed. If my age still met the requirements of to register, maybe I would try again in this sixth year. Dreams, passion, and even hope to live is already gone. One day, I was traveling around town by scooter. Suddenly, I saw a new English course that was looking for English tutor and marketing staff written on a banner in front of the course. And I pull over and decide asking the owner. Hello, madam, is this a new course? Yes, why? Nothing, ma'am. I'm just curious. Are you still opening job vacancies? Oh, yes. We're looking for English teacher and marketing. Do you speak English? A little, ma'am. I like English, but I have no friend to practice. Do you want to teach English for kids? No. I can't teach, ma'am. If just marketing, it's okay. Are you sure? No problem, ma'am. The important thing is I have activities instead of walking around without no purpose. Okay, then come again and bring your CV with you tomorrow. What's your name again? John. Ah, cool. After 3 months working there, the owner came to me and said, John, we have a new student. Since I and other teachers don't have time, you will teach her. What? Teaching? Yeah, she's still on grade 2 in elementary school. Start from the basic learning alphabet. You've seen how I teach, right? So you can do it. I accept the offer with confidence. I'll do my best. The day came when I met Putri, a cute little girl who would become my first student. Hello, Putri. Hello, Mister. Today, we learn alphabet. Follow me, okay? A, B, C, until Z. She followed me how to pronounce it. At the second meeting, she came escorted by his mother with enthusiasm. He entered the class, and I start teaching. Putri, do you remember how we learn alphabet from A to Z? Yes, mister. A, B, C, D, Z. She pronounced the letter very well when she remembered what I taught her. After listening, Putri said it. A thrill of teaching more people was overwhelming. My hopes surfaced and changed my life. From there, I learned more how to teach English. I also decided to go to college, major in English literature, and also look for an English community until I found Toastmasters Club. Ladies and gentlemen, I discovered that a hope I received when I met Putri was not a new hope. Without realizing it, this hope has existed since I was born, and I always carry it with me and stick it with my name. However, in the past, I ignored that hope by applying police officer and other things that went out of my way. The sensation I felt while teaching Putri just reminded me to get back on the path where I should be and where I should be headed. That hope brought me to be able to speak English, meeting people from around the world, and now being one of speaker in front of American people. That's amazing. And I believe one day I'll go to US. Why I'm sure? Because I'm on the right path. I would like to close my speech with a quote from George Weinberg, a psychologist and a writer from America. Hope never leaves you, but you do. If you or your people are feeling hopeless at this time, remember, a hope will never disappear because it's always there and attached in your life. Back to Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you very much, John. I know that Teton challenged you to give a speech, and hey, you stepped up and you did it. Very well done. We'll be interested to see what Stephen has to say later. Thank you so much. Now we get to move on to my favorite part of any meeting, and we have a table topics master who is a true master. So I will turn it over to Sarah, and everybody be prepared to participate. Sarah, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Tiger. Yeah, I prepared some questions that I hope you can answer with gumption. So remember to use the word of the day. Also remember to stay on the time frame, which is 2 minutes. And I think we can all participate of them. So I will pick up, well, first of all, the question, and then I will call up some participant. The first will be, they are related to the theme of the day, which I understood is challenge. And the first question is like this. Some people think that facing challenges improves a person. Do you agree or disagree? Michelle, do you want to participate?
Hang on. I was busy trying to switch on my email so I could get screenshots. So the question, could you say it again?
Some people think that facing challenges improves a person. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Challenges are, trying to remember the exact phrase, but I will just paraphrase it. Challenges builds our strength. So when you face a challenge, whether you overcome it or not, just by facing it, it will give you a chance to build your strength. And then, of course, if you overcome it, if you have the gumption to go a step beyond where you are, then, I'm sorry, I'm short of breath. But anyway, yes, I agree. I definitely agree. And I will hand control back. I think Mrs. Tiger will know this is my first time to be under time. Back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. I also agree. Challenge build our strength. Very well. Very good participation. Now I want to know 3 suggestions to give when a big challenge unexpected arises. Lorraine, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, thank you. 3 steps to take when a challenge arises. It would depend on the challenge. Let's say it's a professional challenge, like you want to, or you have a really big project to do, and the time frame is very small. So one step to take is to list everything you have to do to complete that task. And then the second step would be to look over your list and decide when is a good time to do each step. And the third would be to do the steps. If it's a personal challenge, like running a marathon, you would start small with each day running just a little bit farther, and then maybe challenge yourself to go uphill more, and then have the gumption to go as far as you possibly can. Those are 3 steps you can take to face a challenge.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you very much. You not only gave us some suggestions for a professional challenge, but also for a personal one. Very good participation too. Now I want you to tell me some short story, and this short story is about how you overcome a challenge recently in your life. Jerry.
Thank you. Good topic, Toastmaster. First, I would like to say challenging and adversity do build our strengths. If you can take the chance to cross the hurdle, you will become more strong. About 1 year ago, I quitted my job and started my own business. but it was a totally different journey compared with work at the cubic, because you need to do everything from the company name, the marketing, the sales, everything you need to do by yourself. The most challenging thing I think when I need to face is difficult customers. He was very absurd, and the team members, one of my team members said he want to give up these customers. He didn't like him at all. But I told myself, if everything, if business is not so easy, it was tough. We need to conquer this toughness. So I didn't give up. About 2 months later, I visited several times with this customer, but finally, we won these customers. So very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Great story about dealing with customers. I know it could be very challenging. The next question is, what kind of challenge would you like to try? Which kind of challenge would you like to try? Dini.
Another challenge that I would like to try in my life is actually learning new languages. In fact, this is about passion. I always love to learn new languages, even it's from movies or probably TV shows. I always enjoy learning new languages. Let's say I have learned Japanese, even though I only remember some of the words, or Chinese or Korean, I have learned Arabic. But this time around, I would like to focus on one new language other than English so that I can have more languages to possess, and I can watch my Korean dramas without subtitles. That's my small goal right now. And then I'm on progress to do it. Still need some more time to learn new languages. I know that it's a challenge for my age this time to learn new languages and then understand the grammar, new vocabularies. Anyway, I hope that everyone here are not afraid of challenges. Never underestimate any challenge that you would like to take, even it is small or big. It doesn't have to be big to make you happy. But the thing is that how you can face the challenge, and then you can conquer the challenge, and you can enjoy the process. And that's all. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Dini. How inspirational, small speech you gave to us, and also about the challenge of languages. I know it's a big challenge, but don't give up, not in this one and not in any other challenge that you are facing. Next question. Do you have any hero that has done something amazing? Do you have some hero that has done something amazing? Tiger, this question is for you.
I have several heroes. I think the one I want to talk about is that's most relative to us is a man who took over as district director back during the COVID. Now, I don't know if you guys realize or not, but the way the district leadership, you start as club growth director, and then it's, you start, anyway, there's 3 levels. See, once you commit to being a district leader, you are committed for 4 years. And it just so happened, his name is PJ. And PJ just so happened to be the district director when COVID hit and everyone went online. And for District 7, it was an absolute disaster because District 7 is mostly made up of clubs in small towns, and clubs in small towns like to meet in person. So when it came down to that being taken away, a lot of clubs folded. During his tenure, he lost 37 clubs in 1 year. Yet he's one of the best leaders I have ever met. And he reached out to me and challenged me to be an area director in an area that literally was falling apart. When I took over this area, there were 9 clubs. By the time I was done, there were 3. And I did so good. I lost so many clubs that the next year they encouraged me to be the division director, and I went on and lost a couple more clubs. So my success level as a leader is absolutely horrendous. Yet he, of all people, commended me and gave me an award because of my commitment. That is leadership beyond normal leadership. For him to recognize me, even though basically things were falling away around me, his attitude was it would have been worse if not for me. So he's my hero. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Tiger, for sharing. For sure, challenges are part of leadership, and it's great to have these kind of leaders as PJ or as you taking over those roles, even though they are challenging. Next question. Which challenges do you think the next generation will face? Stephen, which challenges do you think the next generation will face?
In my opinion, the next generation challenge would be health. Why? Nowadays, with this technology advancement, there's so many game developers who made such exciting and thrilling stories. So the kids are addicted to them. For instance, my kids, they would play the computer games all day long at home without going outside in the playground. So I'm really worried about in the future when the technology, with the VR headset and also the MixR, XR from Apple, people would be more introverted. They will stay at home the whole time playing with computer games instead of being socialized with other people, like coming to Toastmasters meetings, to know people, to hear people's story. They would stay and play computer games. So in this way, it will deteriorate. It will damage their body because they don't move a lot, right? They're just sitting there and play computer games. So what I'm really worried about for our next generation is their health. So I'm really worried about that. And I wish the computer developers should make the app, all these games, more not only entertaining, but also maybe let them move their bodies so they can exercise and also playing computer games. So that's my story. Back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Stephen. I totally agree with you. The physical health is going to be a challenge in the next generation, but also the mental health. You mentioned this very shortly, like going to Toastmaster meetings or having more interaction with other people. Very good participation. Hi, Heidi, I just saw you join. Do you want to participate in table topics?
What is the topic? I don't know.
Challenges. So let me ask you something. Which challenges have changed you in the past 5 to 10 years? Which challenges have changed you in the past 5 to 10 years?
The past 5, 10 years changed me. I think it's the be confidence. In the past 5, 10 years, actually I can think it's the work experience. I work in this company and then I didn't speak much English. The only thing in my heart is just be brave and be little confidence. Even though you are really feel fear in your heart, but stand out, just go out there and talk to the customer, to the colleagues, to anybody that you got the chance to practice or to work with together in the workplace. So most of the time when the assignment coming out, I will be more volunteer to stand out, to try and to take the chances, even I have no idea what it's going to do, but I can ask people to help me. So I really faked my confidence at the beginning, but until I really feel that I can do it. So I can feel that I can gain the confidence by doing things, by asking people for help, not just scared inside your fear zone. So that's the challenge that I think that I conquered, to be confident, go out there and then changed from my inside out. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi, for that participation. Very inspiring as well. So you have go out and this is your challenge to be more confident and ask for help. Very, very inspired. That's also part of the learnings that we are taking from Toastmaster, right? Like to be more confident and speak out.
Right.
So Ravi, would you like to take one table topic?
Can I say no?
No.
No, you cannot say no.
I'm just kidding. That was rhetorical. I have my timer with me, so yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, perfect. What do you think? Should people make their children have easy lives with few challenges, or they have to make sure that children face challenges? So easy life with few challenges, or really make them to face big challenges?
Thank you, Table Topic Master Sarah. Easy life with no challenges versus a tough life with plenty of challenges for your children. That's the table topic for me. I would say that as long as the parent is able to support their children and provide them an environment where the children can learn and grow, I think that should be what we should focus on. For the most part, well, I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't know what most parents go through. But what I can think is most parents always want their children to have the best of everything. That's what most parents struggle and strive for. And they keep saying that, hey, we didn't have this when we were kids. We want you to have the best of everything that we can provide to you. And we don't want you to struggle. And so the parents themselves end up struggling a lot for that. But at the same time, I think when they provide well for their children, the environment that the children grow up in, they will face a different set of challenges. It's not that their lives are going to be any easier than that of their parents. Children, when they grow up in an environment where they're well cared for and well nurtured for, I think they'll face different challenges than their parents. And as long as they have a good supporting environment, be it from their parents, be it from their own friends, their teachers, or anybody else that they live with, work with, relatives, for example, as and when they grow up, if they have that support that they need, I think they should be able to figure out a way to overcome their challenges. As long as they are not spoon-fed all the time and they're not allowed, I mean, if the environment is such that they don't get a chance to think for themselves, that in itself will become a challenge. So therefore, just create the supporting environment and take it one challenge at a time. And I think that's what I would hope for. So not really either this or that. I think a middle ground is what I would always choose. Back to you, Tabletop Master. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Very good information, good input on that topic. It's a difficult one, but yeah, having the right environment and having a goal for the children maybe is the most important part to decide which challenges, etc. Thank you very much for your participation. You did answers in a very gumshy way, or I don't know how to say the adjective of gumption, but I had much more fun with your answers. Thank you very much. And I will give the word back to the Toastmaster of the Day, Tiger.
Fortunately, we have enough time for one more answer. There is one person here who has not answered a table topic. So Ravi, I'm challenging you to give Sarah a good question, a question where she can use the word gumption.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster of the Day. Sarah, we all know that you love books, and I've been asked that we give you a challenging topic. So can you tell us about a book that was a big challenge for you to read, and what did you do to overcome that challenge?
Thank you, Ravi, for that question. Well, one of my favorite authors is Franz Kafka. He was born in the Czech Republic, but he's considered into the German literature. And he was a real challenge for me. The first book that I read was Metamorphosis, or something like this in English. I read it first in English. I didn't really understand it, so I decided to read it in Spanish, my native language, but it still had so many metaphors that I was not able to really get the idea and the message of the book. So I had to research into the internet. I had to have some conversations with my professors at that time until I got parts of the message. But I found him so interesting that I keep reading some books. And one other book that I read from him some months ago was The Trial, which was exactly the same, very metaphorical and very difficult to understand. And just recently, I read another book about his father, where I finally found many clues about why is he writing in the way he's writing. It's because he had a very difficult relationship with the father. So I'm really amazed by this author, the books, and all his ideas. Thank you for the question. Back to you, Ravi.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing with us about a couple of challenging books that you've read so far. And yeah, Franz Kafka, I've tried reading, and I don't think I was able to make head or tail of what he's written either. But yeah, I'll take it up as a challenge as well. Just the same way Tiger is going to be the timer next time, and that'll be his challenge. Kafka is going to be mine. With that, back to you, Tiger.
Thank you, Ravi. And I am so impressed by all the people here that are speaking English as a second language. It is absolutely amazing to me that you guys are able to communicate this well in English using it as a second language. As an English teacher, and Denny can attest to this, this is not an easy language to assimilate. And Heidi referred to that, Sarah referred to that. So all of you have challenged yourself, and it takes a lot of gumption to try and learn a foreign language. So thank you very much. At this point, I am going to turn this meeting over to our special guest, who was challenged by, I don't remember who, to BRGE. Denny, the meeting is all yours.
Thank you, Tiger. Yes, I would say facing a challenge needs a lot of gumption, right? And we are all here to test ourselves so that we can have a better future later by facing the challenges that we have now. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite our speech evaluator here, Stephen, am I right? To evaluate John, but I believe that John was disconnected. So I hope that this meeting's recording can be sent to John so that you can still give structured feedback for John. So without further ado, please help me welcome Stephen.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, especially John, who is not present. John, I really liked your opening. You start by asking questions. Can you raise your hand if you are hopeful? Sorry. That really brings you and me closer. Another thing I enjoyed about your speech is your body language. When you were talking to your mom, you tried to switch your face to the left side. And then when you were talking to the girl you were teaching, you were trying to have this conversational style. Your face was moving around. So this was really engaging for me to see. Another thing you did really well is for the vocal variety. I noticed when you were teaching this girl English, when she was repeating after you, you use a child's voice, A, B, C, D. This is also a very, very good vocal variety, which is really good usage. Another thing I loved about your speech is your conclusion. And you also you finished strong with a quote. If I have to take your speech to the next level, there's some things for you to consider. The first thing is about the structure. The conversation between you and your mom, I think that for the name introduction is fine, but it's a little bit too long. In my opinion, you should focus on the story of you failed 5 times for that test. This you should extend maybe to elaborate. And also another one is how did this interaction or this teaching of this child made you flip? This contrast, how to connect them. I think will make this story even stronger. Overall, you did well on the opening and your body language and the vocal variety, but I would push you further on the structure so you can be better, even better next time. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Stephen. All right, now can we have our timer, Ravi, to give a report on the time? Are you Ravi?
Yes,
Hello.
I'm here.
Oh, yes. Good.
I was just jotting down Stephen's timing. All right. Here's the timer report. Well, table topics, we had 9 speakers, and I don't think I'm going to read out the timings of each of the speakers, but what I'll tell everybody is that everyone took under the 2-minute 30-second mark. So Michelle, as she said, this is the first time ever that I remember Michelle speaking for less than a minute. But yeah, whatever she said is always impactful. So it's the same punch in a 50-second speech that she would in a 2.5-minute speech. But yeah, everybody took less than 2.5 minutes in table topics. John went a little over time in his prepared speech. He took 8 minutes and 31 seconds. My request to John would be to see if he can stop breaking records that I have set here in Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers. I need to be the only guy who always goes over time. He can't do that anymore. And finally, for evaluation, Stephen took 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and so that also was within time. Everyone was well within time, and I ran out of time and I had no gumption to use the word of the day, so I somehow sneaked it in a sentence in the very last minute. With that, I'll hand it back to the general evaluator, Jenny.
Thank you, Ravi. And now let me invite our ad counter, Lauren, to give your report. Over to you.
Thank you, Denny. Tiger, 1 1 1 repeat. Stephen, 1 4 so's, 5 repeats. Sarah, 5 1 well, 2 so's, 1 repeat. Jerry, 6 3 repeats. Denny, 2 1 so. John, 2 1 repeat. Ravi, 1 so, 1 repeat, and 2 ands. Michelle, 1 Heidi, 5 3 so's, 4 repeats. That ends my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren. Now let's come to our English teacher in the room, Jerry, as our grammarian. Over to you, Jerry.
Thank you, Dini. I will give my grammarian report. First, the good usage from Michelle. Challenge builds our strengths. And Noreen mentioned start with small. Heidi, she mentioned just be brave and stand up. Many other the usage, such as from our prepared speaker, John, is very, I think the quote is quite excellent. I cannot write down completely. Regarding the word of today, Tiger used many times, at least 5 times, I think so. Ravi, 1, Didi, 1 time, Michelle, 1 time, Stephen, no. John, no. Sarah, 2 times. Noreen, 1 time. Heidi, no. It's a very, very good performance. So many people use this word of today. I think it's not a common word. Thank you. Back to Dini.
Thank you, Jerry. Now it's my time to give my report for the whole meeting. Well, let me start with the role takers. So from Tiger, our Toastmaster of the day, it's actually a challenge, another challenge for me to be the general evaluator here. But I would say that Tiger has incredible skills of guiding all the participants here, and then he has a very interesting way to lead the session. That is one of appealing characteristics of Tiger. And I would say for the recommendations later, if you take this role again, Tiger, how about having a little ice breaking in the beginning of the meeting so that we can warm up a little bit before we get into the main agenda? you can probably ask questions or have a little game, probably trivia questions, so that all the participants here can engage to each other. All right, that would be my recommendation for Tiger. Next, Ravi. I love how you swiftly display the timer background during the introduction. It's very clear. And I noticed that you had a witty style of giving the report. And this makes your report very interesting and engaging, I would say, because from my own experience, lots of timers report just give the timing report and then that's it. But you have a way to make your report interesting. That's very great. Only one suggestion from me as a timer, you can use the raise hand feature on Zoom so that your screen will appear and become the priority on the very left top corner. All the participants or all the speakers can see you right away without searching for, oh, where is my timer? Okay, that is my suggestion for Ravi. All in all, I love your report. And an ad counter, Lauren, I love how detailed you are. It's very detailed and comprehensive. Because if I can be honest, ad counter is one of the most difficult roles in Toastmasters because you have to pay attention, and then it's hard to really taking notes. Okay, taking notes, all the filler words while enjoying the meeting. But you did a very great job. One thing from me as an ad counter, because I believe everyone here can learn from each evaluator, right? So it would be great if you can give practical or your own personal tips on how to eliminate the fillers. Or probably you have some alternatives to certain repeated words so that we will not do that again later in the future. Thank you, Lauren. Next, grammarian. Wow, you have a detailed role introduction, and then you include the beautiful sayings or quotes from the speakers. And I would say this is a positive manner of being the grammarian. Not only we point out some mistakes, but we also appreciate the things that we think beautiful from each speaker. That's very great. Probably one suggestion from me, if you can provide more visual, so you can provide visual aids for your explanation here, and then we can do a little bit quiz, or you can do like who says this quote to make the report more interesting, so that we can check whether all the participants here pay attention to the speakers. All right, next we have Sarah as the table topics master. I love your topic, Sarah. It was profound, and then it was related to the theme, and to be honest, it's quite difficult. When I listen to the questions, I try to answer it by myself. Okay, so what kind of answer that I will provide if I get that question? But that's amazing because you can relate to the theme and then make all the participants here can share beautiful stories of them. Just one recommendation from me. I know that you have provided a profound responses to each speaker after their speech, and it can be more interesting if you can summarize each table topic speaker's highlight message at the very end of your session, so that everyone here can recall what is the message of Tiger's speech, what is the message of Ravi's speech, and everyone as table topic speakers. That's all, but I enjoy your session so much, and then the questions. Last but not least, we have Stephen here as the individual evaluator. I noticed that you deliver your evaluation in a positive manner, and then it uplifts. If John were here, I would say that he would be very uplifted after listening to your evaluation, because you did it in a positive manner and then you encourage him. also, I heard that you had a very comprehensive and in-depth analysis on the structure. I would say it is not easy for an evaluator to, observe the structure or content of a speaker. It means that you closely pay attention to John's speech, and then you had very great skills of analysis. That's a great and wonderful skills, Stephen. Only one thing from me to make your evaluation become more engaging and also amazing is you can give or probably use listing method. I would say this is a listing method by saying probably you have 3 commendations or 3 recommendations. So you need to mention it in the beginning. For example, I have 3 things that I love from your speech. The first one, second one, and then third one. That way the speaker can remember how many points that you like from his speech, and then how many points that he should improve from the performance. All in all, I love your evaluation so much, and then I learned a lot from you as well. As a whole, I just love this meeting because it's very quick and then efficient. It's kind of different from what I have in Indonesia, and I learned a lot from you guys. That's why I loved taking this challenge as the GE, because it makes me learn again about Toastmasters and then another style of having the meeting. And then I would say that everyone here was amazing. Just 1 minute late, but that's okay. I just enjoy everything. Back to you, Tiger.
Wow, that was amazing. I loved how you gave us, everybody, good things that we did, and also you had recommendations for everybody, and all the recommendations were legit, except, of course, the one for me. But that's okay. Ravi was smiling, and if we can get Ravi to smile during a meeting, then I'm happy. No, that was actually a very good recommendation. In my defense, I was dubbed the Toastmaster about 3 minutes before the meeting started. No problem. It was fun. At this time, I would love to get some comments from our esteemed guest, Heidi. It is so great to see you again. Would you be so kind as to give us some comments about our meeting today?
I think the meeting is wonderful. I can't give any comments, but I enjoy it. I just join on the type of topic. And then I'm happy to enjoy, and then I can have a chance to practice myself as well. And then I really learned a lot from Tenny. Her evaluation are so detailed, and so get the point are very clear, and her recommendation also very powerful. That I think it's good. Even I don't enjoy a lot, but I can think that it's the way I can learn.
Fantastic. It's so nice to have you here. I know it's extremely late where you're at. I greatly appreciate your attendance, and you are welcome here anytime. Denny.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here and stepping up to take a major role. You've kind of already given us your impression, but go ahead and give us a final impression of what you think.
No comments, just like Heidi. As a general evaluator, yeah, I did give the feedbacks, but I just enjoyed the meeting and I learned a lot from you guys. So that's all. I just love this meeting. Thank you for giving me a chance.
Thank you so much, Denny, and please come back again next week. Stephen, you're really not a guest. Technically, you're kind of a what do we call it? A member a special guest / member. But go ahead, give us a few comments. We always like to hear from you.
No, I enjoy the meeting a lot. Yeah. I think we should have more speakers. If I have to give some suggestions, we should have more speakers. I would love to hear more stories from you guys. Yeah, especially more funny stories from Tiger, maybe. Some adventures you had, you know. Yeah.
Well,
and Lauren, did Lauren you ever give a speech? I never heard you speak here.
wow.
Nope, not yet.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your story.
So I have challenges. Thanks to Stephen, I have 2 challenges for next week. We need 2 speakers, and I'm thinking of Stephen and Lauren. How about that?
Yeah, sure.
And it's time for your icebreaker. We need to hear more from. We need to hear from you. It would be wonderful. Is that okay? Can we put you down for an icebreaker?
Yeah.
Awesome. That is awesome. Steve, I know I'm kidding you, but I'm also serious. Do you want to step?
Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, bring it on. Yeah.
Yeah, bring it on. God, I just love you, man. Unbelievable. All right, so let's roll with that. We need evaluators. So who wants to step up and evaluate Lauren's icebreaker? Ravi? Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah, I raised my hand to just say that if you're done with the meeting, should we stop recording while we do all this, or? But then you put me down.
That's fine. We got plenty of time, but yes, that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you.